ഫോൺ ഇവിടെ
നീ കണ്ടിട്ട് ടേബിൾ വെച്ച്
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Romia. Romia, good evening. Good evening, ma'am. Good luck. All the best. Thank you.
Okay, good evening all. I think sir is busy somewhere. I request our vice principal ma'am to kindly start.
Good evening to one and all. Today we have another session of the in-house training, and we have Mrs. Romia Sinha, TGT Social Science, but she is also handling the Class 11 Art section. She is one of the lifelines of that art section. Topic for today is gamification, a very interesting topic. So I wish you all the best, ma'am. Please start. Let us not waste much of the time. Okay. All the best, ma'am. Thank you. Girish sir, just try to contact principal sir if possible.
Okay, ma'am.
Girish sir,
Yeah.
can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am. You may proceed.
Should I start now?
Yeah, ma'am. Start.
Okay. Respected Principal Sir Dr. Manohar Lal, Vice Principal Ma'am Ms. Sonia Kaur and Mrs. Shalini Vijay, Headmistress Ma'am Mrs. Harpreet Kaur, senior faculties, and my dear colleagues. Good evening. A very warm welcome to today's session, which is on gamification in learning. Before we start the presentation, let me just narrate what will be the flow of the presentation. The presentation is divided in 4 sections. First, why gamification? Then, what is gamification? Then, how to gamify? And last, advance and benefits of gamification. We quickly look into the issues related to teaching delivery in next 8 slides and 2 videos. The need to shift from traditional method of teaching will be discussed in next 2 slides. And the difference between the gamification and game-based learning will be discussed. These will the answer of why gamification. The definition, the theories, and the psychological aspect will be discussed in next 5 slides. And these explain what is gamification. The game elements that can be used in next 3 slides and the methods to apply gamification in the subsequent couple of slides. This will give an idea about how to gamify. And again we shall discuss about the benefits, the platform, the advantage of gamification, and finally we shall check the cons associated with gamification. Kahani Ghar Ghar Ki, it's a famous serial of Ekta Kapoor, as you all know. In today's presentation, I will show you a video which I named Kahani Class. Let's go to the video. A typical classroom in junior section.
Now we're going to do our independent practice so you can show me what it is that you learned today. Let's begin. William, you can't behave like that. Pick up your paper. Pick up your paper.
Sinha class. This is the common situation in the classroom, irrespective of region and the age of the students. Seems familiar, isn't it? Yes, that is fact. But why? Why does it happen? Let's hear it from a proponent of gamification in the classroom.
And I realized after a few years of quote unquote research, and I'll get to how I did that in a second, I realized that the education system is a system that is totally in an engagement crisis. We blame the kids and we blame lack of resources and we blame all these things, when in reality, these kids are bored. And what do we do when we're bored? The same thing you might be doing right now if you're bored of me. You are looking at your phone. You are counting the amount of lights on the ceiling. You are determining if your shoelaces are tied perfectly. You are doing everything to entertain yourself when you are bored in a situation, and that is what I think school is for kids. Then I had a career change, and all of a sudden, I had kids who couldn't care about anything I was talking about. And the kids that cared didn't care for the right reason. They cared because they were often scared about their parents being disappointed about the grades. So I said, well, do I really want to do this for the next 20-some years of my career? Add to the cycle I think is broken. So I talked to the kids. And I got 3 common trends. First thing I got is kids told me flat out, school is boring, it is repetitive, it is the same thing every class I go to, except instead of science I get math, instead of math I get social. And they go forward and forward and forward with this continuously. Now, I learned to check my ego at the door as a teacher pretty quickly. And what I actually heard when I wasn't angry, and I wasn't like, oh, what do you mean my class is boring? They said, give me a reason to care about this stuff. Because I was like, okay, that's totally logical. I've been 13. I wasn't too interested in that content. You have to make kids believe that they are doing something for a reason, for a purpose. Second common thing I got is kids feel like they have no choice in anything all the time. And I don't disagree with that at all. I hear it and I've lived it. This is the project you have to do with these stipulations, and this rubric is how it's marked, and that's all you get. So I said, what are they actually saying? They're saying, trust me, because I have a brain in between these ears, and I can do something. And that's backed entirely. Daniel H. Pink, who is a TED talker and a business leader, talks about how control leads to compliance. However, autonomy leads to engagement. So I said, okay, I got these ideas now. Now they're starting to jive around in my head. And the third one, and this is my favorite, because I'm all about passion, and that's what this stage is for. Why can't I do things in the way that I want to do them? Which exactly from a teacher's perspective says, can you just let me be creative for a second? Can you let me take this rubric that I don't like and shred it? And you want me to build this? I'll build it, but I want to use my stipulations and my parameters, and I want to inject music because I'm passionate about music. No problem.
This is the common situation in the classroom, irrespective of region and age of the students that you all know. Now, the crux of the video is they feel they are bored. They mean give them a purpose to do it. They feel they don't have a choice in anything that they do. They mean trust their abilities and let them prove it. They feel I can't do things the way I want to do. They mean they can use their creativity and passion to do it differently. Given the situation, the question which will arise is then how to ensure learning maintaining discipline. I know my colleagues are smiling and saying they are okay with it and they can handle this. I know many teachers in our school having 10, 15, or more than 20 years of teaching experience. You can definitely control the class. But the question is the tactics adapted to control the class is changing. Like we are changing every aspect of life for betterment. The methods of controlling the class is also changing. I still remember the instrument which is used by my teachers for controlling the classes. This one, a smaller mistake. This one, for little more serious mistake. And for heinous crime, this was also. Now we are shifted from cycle to motorcycle, from motorcycle to car. We are also trying to change from these instruments to the newer techniques. I left my school more than 30 years back. The research on child psychology have advanced a lot during this period, and the studies have shown that corporal punishment are detrimental for child's well-being, impair their ability to learn, and affect cognitive and functional development. But when they purpose to stop the corporal punishment, they must give the ways to replace them. Hence, no corporal punishment. Let's see what strategies they are proposing us to adapt it. Some of the modern intervention techniques of the teaching delivery are offer an interesting format, apply group and individual practices, award incentive, allow students to evaluate their own results, reflect on everyone's effort. The necessity to change the teaching delivery methods stemmed out from this, provided we want to use these interventions. The modern teaching techniques delivery are shifting from traditional lecture to active learning. If I want to shift from this type of classroom to this type of classroom, then we need to shift from traditional lecture to active learning. Now I am going to show you a video regarding this matter. Let's go to the video. Here, a teacher has to tackle the boredom of the students, then his engagement of the students, and then he or she has to tackle the indiscipline. And now he has to pick demotivation. By the way, this mode of Maradona considered as the goal of the century. So, the teacher has to play like Maradona in the class to ensure active learning. Now, the question is what should be the strategies for active learning? Let's go to the strategies. Before starting the slides, I just want to show you the progress bar below. That is gamification. Just below it is, see it, gamification. Then we are starting the core topic, gamification. We shall go through the relevant theories, the psychological aspect, why the gamification as a whole could be beneficial, the design elements of game that are used for gamification in education, then how they can be used, the advantage, the benefits, the online platforms that can be used for gamification, and finally few cons of gamification. So, what is the theory of gamification in education? It states that learners learn the best when they are having fun out of it and when they have goals, targets, and achievements to reach for. Of course, in a way, learners still perceives as fun. Let me give you an example of learning, which is without fun or having fun. The difference is, like you have to complete 80 questions of the homework by tomorrow. And the fun way is complete these 80 questions. We shall have a quiz tomorrow. Top 3 scorers will be given a small token of gift. In this first case, it is an order.
More people than normal chose the stairs over the escalator. But more than that, the commuters looked like they had a lot of fun at the same time. Some of them were walking up and down and up again, just playing with the giant piano. These piano stairs are an incredible example of using the power of play to motivate people. And this is exactly the same kind of thinking behind gamification.
Another theory of gamification is, just have it. अब वीडियो में क्या देखे हम लोग, एस्केलेटर को छोड़ के वो लोग सीढ़ी चढ़ने लगे. क्यों? क्योंकि सीढ़ी को एक फन एक्टिविटी बना दिया गया. सीढ़ी को पियानो के स्टाइल में बना दिया गया. तो जस्ट फॉर फन सब एस्केलेटर को छोड़ के सीढ़ी चढ़ने. Just have a look this theory of gamification in the learning. Have you ever seen someone bored with a game? No. Thus, if the study can be made as engaging as the games, using the same game principles, it is expected that it will be equally motivating, engaging, and fun.
desire to choose one's own direction. अमरेंद्र बाहुबली नहीं रहे, अब आपके महाराज हैं। महेंद्र बाहुबली। Ownership, the desire to own things and have possession. मेरे पास बिल्डिंग है, प्रॉपर्टी है, बैंक बैलेंस है, बंगला है, गाड़ी, क्या है तुम्हारे पास? मेरे पास माल। Social influence, the drive to interact with, help, learn from, and compete with others. अंग्रेजी को कहाँ इतना बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं? बढ़ावा नहीं दे रहे हैं, अंग्रेजी का डर हटा रहे हैं। तो बहुत दरवाजा है दुनिया में जो सिर्फ इसीलिए नहीं खुलते हैं क्योंकि लोग में आई कम इन नहीं कह पाते। बोल के दिखाओ। Scarcity, the drive of wanting things you can't have. Avoidance, the drive to avoid pain or negative consequences. For instance, point systems make us feel like we have meaning, purpose, and gives us a sense of progression. Badges tap into the need for accomplishment, and leaderboards appeal to our need for social status and influence. The more we understand the psychology of our core drives, the better we will be at creating games and campaigns that meet our core needs, and in turn improve them to become more fun, engaging, and have a higher likelihood of being shared.
So far we have covered what is gamification. Let's see how to gamify. For design we see in every game, it defines a goal. Like, you have to put a ball into a box kept at a distance. Then they include rules. Like, you cannot just pick the ball, go to the box and drop it. Instead, you have to hit it with a bat and you have only 3 chances. The next design elements that we can see is challenges and conflicts. They make it harder and harder. For example, they put a pond inside the field, a mountain after that, which the ball has to cross. To integrate conflict, other players also play the game. Next, finally, feedback. The feedback comes immediately after you try that you are successful in overcoming the challenge. These designs are included when education is gamified in the classroom. If I talk about elements used to integrate these designs, they are narrative. For example, in games, a story is being told Like you are only human being who can save the earth from aliens. Immediate feedback that I have already told you earlier. Fun. Fun must be there while gamifying the classroom. Challenges should not be very easy, neither very hard, so that they neither become boring nor become unengaging. The challenges should be increased slowly as the classes progress. It's called scaffolding learning. The other game elements for gamification are mastery. Students should be climb up the levels. Examples like easy to moderate, moderate to expert, expert to pro, etc. As the level up, badges correspond to the levels are given. A leaderboard is maintained in the classroom to keep the names of the performing students and improving students. Social connection among students should be encouraged so that they help each other. And finally, they should perceive that they have controls on what they are doing and what they want to do. The using of designs and elements are discussed in this slide. Now the students can earn points through academic and non-academic activities. Playful barriers can be created. For example, if crossing 100 points earn a student from golden badge to platinum badge. If he or she has to win 2 quizzes, the personalized performance has to be monitored carefully. Next, the progression should be made visible to the students in the leaderboard. Badges can be provided to students like silver badge, golden badge, platinum badge, etc. The students should wear these badges in the classroom so that they enjoy their achievements. And using platforms which are available online for gamification of education that I will discuss in the last slide. If we think of our initial discussion, loss of engagement, low motivation level were the main issues. The gamification ticks in all the boxes. It offers increased learner motivation levels, improved knowledge retention, better learner engagement through social mechanisms like badges, points, or leaderboards. Advantages are associated with products. Similarly, the advantages with which gamification in education offers get translated into the benefits for the students. Let us check what are they. The benefits of the students, the benefits of the gamification in the class. Students feel like they have ownership over their learning. The opportunity to think outside of the box. Tasks are no longer just about filling in a worksheet. More fun in the classroom. Learning became visible through progress indicators. Students may uncover an intrinsic motivation for learning. Let me clarify one thing here. Motivation that can be classified into 2 categories. One is extrinsic motivation, another is intrinsic motivation. When the cause of motivation comes from outside, like a reward, some cash incentives that will be given to the best presentation, it is called an extrinsic motivation. If the cause comes from inside, like I enjoy doing something because I like it does not have any external motivators, then it is called intrinsic motivation. We said that initially extrinsic motivation works well for any activity, but its influence diminishes over time. To remain motivated, the activity has to be made intrinsically motivated. Thus, while designing gamification, designers try to make it intrinsically motivated. Let me show you a video which talks on this, and it is also discuss one theory of motivation, the state of flow, which explains why we remain hooked to the game.
When we focus on just using rewards to encourage users, we're relying on using extrinsic motivation. We're extrinsically motivated when we perform an activity in order to attain a desired outcome or to avoid a negative one. Think carrot and stick. This kind of motivation can work incredibly well to motivate us in some contexts. However, research suggests that the value of rewards diminish over time. So, a bigger and bigger reward is needed to keep us motivated. Research also suggests that once the reward is removed, we're less inclined to continue the activity. Extrinsic motivation also doesn't really explain why we play video games. Yes, rewards are a big part of games, but they're generally not the primary reason we play games. There is another type of motivation that helps explain why games are so engaging, called intrinsic motivation. If you're intrinsically motivated, then you're motivated not because you want a reward or you're avoiding punishment, you're doing it because you find enjoyment in the activity itself. When it comes to games, generally no one pays you to play games or punishes you when you don't play them. You're playing them because you enjoy the game itself. So, if this is the reason games are so motivating, then rather than just focusing on rewards when it comes to gamification, it's important to consider how to make gamification intrinsically motivating. There's a number of ways to better support intrinsic motivation in games and gamification. One way is to look at three basic psychological needs proposed in self-determination theory and promote these through game mechanics. These needs include autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Autonomy refers to the choices people make and why they make them. Autonomy is high when we choose to take on an activity because we're interested in it, rather than doing it because of a reward or punishment. Competence refers to the ability to be challenged appropriately. This generally happens when we are given a challenge that matches our skill level, something that is not too easy that it becomes boring, and not too difficult that we become anxious. Relatedness refers to our connection to and support from others. It has to do with our development and maintenance of close personal relationships. Research suggests that games are primarily enjoyable and motivating to the extent that players experience these three psychological needs while playing. So, supporting them in gamification design is important to do. We can't talk about intrinsic motivation in games without also discussing the theory of flow. Flow describes a state of full immersion. When you're concentrating so intently on an activity, then you're said to be in a state of flow. And flow has been witnessed in people who rock climb, dance, play chess, and also those who play video games. When you're in a state of flow, you often experience many things, such as an intense and focused concentration, a sense of great control over the activity you're undertaking, and also a distortion of time often occurs. You may have experienced a flow state if you've ever sat down to read a book or play a game for just 5 minutes, and then when you looked up, 4 hours had passed and you hadn't realized it. In order to reach or encourage this state of flow, you generally need to have the following: a clear goal that you're working towards, clear progress towards completing that goal, clear and immediate feedback to tell you how you're going, and a balance of challenge and skill. Supporting these things can help promote intrinsic motivation.
The important benefits motivating gamification in the classroom is students can explore different identities through different avatars or characters. Then the other benefits of gamification in the classroom: higher engagement and concentration level among students. Students often are more comfortable in gaming environment, so are more proactive, innovative, and open to making mistakes. A more relaxed atmosphere in regards to failure since learners can simply try again. I have purposely kept these benefits at last as they are the most important. Now, I'm going to show you another video. This is my last video of this presentation. Let's see what that teacher who we have seen in another video is saying about failure and what could be the role of the teacher and how gamification helps in that.
The second thing I realized, we don't like failure. However, at every teaching conference and convention I go, they bring up some researcher who says, we need to fail. And then we're like, okay, sure, what's the best practice? I don't know, but that's something we should definitely be doing. And I say, okay. So we're cool with like Pinterest fails. These are viral, right? Here's the thing, we tried it. But when it comes to a classroom, I saw how resistant teachers is. Like, but wait a second, you want them to fail, but you don't ever. So I will purposely teach lessons and experiments that screw up, and then have kids pick apart why it went wrong and pretend like I had no clue unless they watched this and now they're in on it. But I will do these things to show them that I want them to take risks. My grade, a kid wears as a badge that tells him or her if they are good at said subject. And my job is to make sure that number can be as high as possible so that they believe that they are good at that subject. And they might invite future passions and innovations and creativity in said subject. But if my goal is I don't care about you, you're just a number on a paper and I'm just going to push you through the system, boom, 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 then I'm not doing my job. Kids need to know that in the arena of education, I am not on the outside clapping for them. They need to know that I am in the arena fighting alongside them, picking them up when they fall down, brushing them off and saying it is okay. Because that is what is going to create the future innovators that we so badly need with all the crazy problems that the current situations we are in. Global warming, problems with food and water, and all these different kinds of things. We need crazy, wild, innovative thinking, not someone who can say, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to pretend that I'm good at biology. That's what school is.
There are some online platforms which offer services for gamification of education. If someone is interested, may check those sites. Now, I'm going to recapitulate my whole section. Please have a look. That the major issues faced in the classroom are indiscipline, boredom, demotivation. The underlying cause for all those is lack of students' engagement. The reason the purpose is not clear to the students. Students have low autonomy on what to do, and they have no choice on how to do. While the goals for the teacher is to keep the students motivated, engaged, and disciplined. Their corporal punishments may ensure engagement and discipline, but it demotivates and severely impairs the cognitive and functional development of the students. After that, we discuss the intervention techniques that have replaced the corporal punishments. They are offering interesting formats, applying group practice, avoiding ineffectiveness. Unfortunately, these intervention techniques are not fully compatible with traditional teaching delivery methods like lecture and notes. Thus, shifting to newer delivery methods will ensure active learning is warranted. We explain in detail the strategies that support our active learning. They are reciprocal questioning, the three-step interview, the pause procedure, the minus one technique, the devil's advocate approach, the gamification of learning and game-based learning. Among these strategies, gamification is a breakthrough approach and has garnered wide acceptance. The gamification of learning ensures active learning may take care of all the issues associated with traditional teaching. Please answer the question by gamification of learning. The next part of the presentation dealt with what is gamification. We have seen that Nick Failing had first coined the term gamification. We have discussed the definition of gamification, the theories of education that validates the use of gamification in learning, and the psychological and extreme. The advantage that gamification of learning offers, it takes care of all three major issues by increasing learner motivation levels, improving knowledge retention, and most importantly, ensure better learner engagement. Various benefits that students may derive from gamified learning environments have also been discussed. Those are sense of ownership of their learning, innovative thinking, fun in learning, having intrinsic motivation, higher engagement, a learning atmosphere that encourages trying new things without a fear of failure. Like every other successful strategies, gamification, while offering various benefits, it does have some disadvantages. The few that I could find are decrease students' attention span, the cost involved in gamification, student assessment, game logistics. These are the cons of gamification in the classroom. This brings us to the end of the session. I would like to thank everyone for providing me this opportunity to present this session and also for your patient listening. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you, Romia madam, for a nice discussion. As I joined late due to some meeting, we enjoyed the video we have played, and it's a very informative session also. Thanks to all of you. Thanks, Girish.
Thank you, sir.
And once again, I remind all the teachers, please complete your 25 hours session. Today there is a meeting with the regional officer, regional Ranchi Mandi. We are in the meeting in the morning only. So he also advised that please complete your 25 hours. Now the CBSE is going to all the paid session also in this Ranchi, they are going on. So those of us completed, please inform me that I will arrange the session for them, the CBSE session also. And one more thing, the RO has advised that just all the teachers fill the Pariksha Pe Charcha. I already share in the this group only. So we can all the teachers should enroll, get registered in Pariksha Pe Charcha and inform the students also. Because in the Patna region very less restrictions are there. So this is a request from CBSE RO also. So get registered for these Pariksha Pe Charcha and from the students also. There is a lot of Google link is there. So if you can go teacher wise, I think that we can register all the students once in a group only. So on Monday, your all the section name we can register in one group only. First we can all the teachers get registered themselves, then we'll all the students only. Okay. Thank you, Romia madam. Once again. And thanks for Nikish. Next session.
Sir, it is inform, sir. Thank you, Romia ma'am.
Well done, Romia ma'am.
I think she has already left, ma'am.
Well done. Okay. And
हाँ शी इज हियर मैम। कहाँ चले गए थे?
सॉरी सर, मेरा डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था।
नो प्रॉब्लम मैम। इट्स इट वाज वेरी
Everything all right, Girish sir?
it is a nice presentation, very ma'am, excellent. The entire presentation was very beautiful.
अच्छा. Should I leave now?
Yeah ma'am, no I think just Sonia ma'am was congratulating you, you can have a talk.
Okay, sure. I'm in the line.
Okay.
Sir is there, no? Sir is there, no?
Sir has already left. He has left.
थैंक यू रोमिया मैडम, थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा रहा, कांग्रेचुलेशन, कीप इट अप। बस
Thank you, sir. सुने थे आप?
बहुत बहुत बढ़िया, अच्छा लगा। जो फिल्म देखे उसमें बहुत खुश है।
हाँ, वही तो कितना फिल्म दिखा दिए, बोलिए तो।
हाँ, एकदम सैक्रिफाइस करते हुए, गोली खत्म हो गया, सैक्रिफाइस लिखा हुआ है। अरे अमिताभ बच्चन वाला, अच्छा लग रहा।
सैक्रिफाइस करते करते बीजिंग गा दिया। हाँ। वो स्कैरसिटी था सर, स्कैरसिटी था, गोली का स्कैरसिटी था।
हाँ, अच्छा था।
थैंक यू लिली मैम।
वेरी बहुत अच्छा था।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
रोमिया मैडम बहुत बढ़िया, रोमिया।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू। गिरीश सर, नाम नहीं आ रहा मेरा।
रोमिया पिक्चर को दिखाई।
मैम दिखेगा मैम, अल्फाबेटिकली ऑर्डर इन टीजीटी में अल्फाबेटिकली सर्च कीजिए।
गिरीश सर,
इन अल्फाबेटिकली सर्च कीजिए ना अपना नाम में।
गिरीश सर,
अल्फाबेटिकली सर्च कीजिए टीजीटी में।
थैंक यू सर।
सारे पीजीटीज का नाम एक साथ है, टीजीटीज का नाम एक साथ है। ओके सर।
बहुत अच्छा था रोमिया मैम। अरे वाह, थैंक यू सो मच। गिरीश सर, नाम नहीं आ रहा मेरा। मैडम
मैम
यहाँ पर।
पूनम मैम आपको ही रिप्लाई कर रहा हूँ, टीजीटी के साथ देखिए ना नाम।
आप किस तरह है?
सारे पीजीटीज का नाम एक साथ है, टीजीटीज का नाम एक साथ है।
नहीं है सर, नाम ही नहीं आ रहा मेरा। नहीं भरना है, एक बार लिंक भेजिए ना सर।
नहीं मैम, इसे चैट बॉक्स में है, एक बार फिर से उसी में ओपन कीजिए।
नहीं है उसमें, मेरे को नहीं दिखा रहा, कुछ डिस्कनेक्ट मेरा हुआ है। एक बार फिर से भेज दीजिए। नॉट फाइंडिंग। एक बार प्लीज।
हाँ चैट बॉक्स में डाल रहे हैं।
एक बार लिंक भेज। रोमिया मैम, वेरी नाइस सेशन। Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Patel, ma'am. Very nice, very informative. Please send me the link. Thank you, ma'am.
चलो बाय।
Bye, bye.
Once again link has been shared.
Did you say Sonia ma'am is there?
Yeah.
Very nice presentation, Romia.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Very high standard.
Thanks a lot. सर, मुझे कुछ भरना नहीं है ना?
नहीं आपको कुछ नहीं भरना मैम।
तो हमको सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिलेगा?
नहीं
सर, मेरा नहीं